Hi, I'm Jason Hennessy.
And Chris Watson.
And we're from Everspark Interactive.
Hello.
If you're watching this video, you are one of our clients.
Yes.
Or you are one of prospects that maybe we're speaking to at the moment. One of the things that we wanted to address today, it's Friday, it is about 4:45 in the afternoon. We wanted to talk to you about a major update that just happened in Google, and it's called the Penguin update.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of calls from quite a few of our clients, concerned, and rightly so. The last time we made one of these videos was back in February, March of last year.
With the
Panda update.
That's right.
The same kind of thing. So all of our clients, usually our clients are rather savvy, and you tend to do a lot of searches on the internet and get sent a lot of stories about, beware, the sky's falling.
That's right.
And that's been going on a lot this week. We fielded a lot of questions about it, and we kind of wanted to make this video just to sort of give you our take on what Penguin really is, what you should and shouldn't be concerned about, give you a bit of a history about the build up to this moment, and sort of give you a sense of that's what we're here to do. It's when problems happen.
I wouldn't call them problems.
Well, challenges.
That's right.
When
Updates.
Updates.
There you go.
Things shift. You've hired us to make sure that we're on top of it, and
Correct.
we're going to try to talk about it a little bit and give you a sense of what we're going to do to combat this thing, and the steps that we're taking to do just that.
That's right. So one of the things is sometimes, as I do and you do, you start to do searches for your words, and you get consistent with that, and on a regular basis you're doing your search for your word, and you find yourself like in position number 2, and then you find yourself in position number 1, and it goes down to position number 3. Well, with this update, it's really shaking the entire Google SERPs, the search engine result pages. Yeah. So you might find some of your keywords bounce to page 2, some of them are on page 1. I mean, it's just a big mix-up right now, and it's not finished yet.
No.
They predict that this is going to continue to happen for the next 30 days. Yeah. But let me just give you a little history about how this kind of works and how search engine optimization started, so that you got a perspective of what it is that's happening right now. So let's talk about back in 2002, 2003, when you were to build a website, obviously you reverse engineered what was working. What was the #1 websites that are ranking for keywords? What were they doing, right? Yep. What are they doing that's working? Because if they're #1, then I should be doing the same thing. So in 2002, you can put meta tags, it's called your keyword meta tags, and you can just put hundreds of them in there, and it's all the same thing. XYZ, 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 XYZ. So then when you do a search for XYZ, if you've got that in there so many times, guess what? You're going to rank #1, right? Other things too, within the content of your website. You had to put the keyword in there so many times. It had to be like 20% density. If it wasn't 20% density, well, the next person that was 21% density would just put it in there one more time, and they would outrank you. And that's seriously what happened, and it made for a really, really weird and unfriendly web, right? That's right. So that was back in the day, and that worked. But then Google came along, and they've got engineers, and they've got smart people, some of the smartest people in the world that they bring on to the Google complex out in Mountain View, California. And they figure out things that people are doing to manipulate this. And that's when they just stopped that. So back then in 2004, when they discounted all the meta tags, all of a sudden it was just a big shakeup. What happened? It was working yesterday and today it's not. Now I'm on page 3, but I was on page 1, right? So that's what happens. It's just Google does this on occasion, and then they came out with a Florida update, they came out with a May Day update, they came out with caffeine, they came out with Penguin, they came out with Panda. Every couple months, they come out with updates. But every day, they continue to tweak the algorithm. They'll turn up a notch, they'll lower this notch. I mean, they're just trying to perfect it. So,
yeah, and if you're a client of ours, or if you've seen some of our content or any of our training materials, you've heard us talk a lot about the significance of links. Right? And it's been that way since, for the last 5 years, realistically. Google has really paid a lot of attention to links coming into a site. And 5 years ago, it was easy to build fairly bad links into a site, and it didn't matter that much. You could have a link from one of our clients, will know this reference to, from HelloKitty.com fan page into a lawyer's site, and it didn't matter all that much. And then when the Panda update came, that started to matter a lot.
They discounted those type of links.
Yeah, now the sequence of time between Panda, which is February of last year, to now is really, really significant, because what you saw happen is that the Panda update became about Google sticking to their mandate, which is to deliver up valuable content, to make the search results the most valuable, so the user experience would be the best. And they really started to look at the link structure, or the inbound links coming into pages. And it was at that moment that a lot of SEOs went out of business, and the ones who didn't, like us, started to diversify everything, because we were almost predicting that if they're going down the path of looking at the link variation of all the links that are coming into your site, you better not be going hard at
any one specific
keyword over and over and over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And so when penguins come through, those of us who were prepared for it, and I wouldn't say that we were completely prepared for it, because this is a major shakeup.
That's right.
And we're going to get into the things that you can do, or we're going to do with you to truly combat it. But the ones that we've seen go through the second phase of heavy penalties are the ones that had a crazy amount of anchor text links coming in for specific keywords that they were only trying to target that one keyword.
That's right.
They've been pretty much wiped off the face of the search
Google,
engines.
yep. And it's pretty important just to note that one of the things that they're taking very seriously is they're really scrutinizing, like you mentioned, the links, like the specific links. They've got all these different tools that go out and they reverse engineer everything that you've done, and they're looking for, does this look natural? Does this look unnatural? So good thing for us is that we've been diversifying your anchor text since we've been working with you. So we can check that box. While we build links for xyz.com, we're also building links for xyza.com and xyzb.com. So we're diversifying it enough so that it actually looks very natural. Yeah. Having said that, let's talk about what we plan on doing in the future with your campaigns, because the first thing that we did with this update, now I had founded a group called SAB. It's the SEO Advisory Board. And this is actually a brain trust of sorts that I founded about a year ago with some of the best SEOs in the world. There's about 12 of us that have been invited to this group, and we just sit there. We've got a lot of test sites that we use. We sit there and we actually study sites, and we talk about changes. And as you can imagine, there's just been a lot of dialogue happening in the past 2 weeks about this update. We've been looking at some of the test sites. We've been reverse engineering sites that are currently ranking #1 for some competitive keywords. And we're just finding out, what is it that Google is looking at with this Penguin update? And let's just talk about that for a second.
Yeah. It's been some startling things, but ultimately nothing that we can't replicate. And that's the great thing. In fact, when you have to replicate the link diversity of a competitor that is ranking #1, that's when SEO is very, very hard. Mm-hmm. What's starting to come through now is that, again, reminding ourselves of that Google's mandate is to create the best user experience possible, is that content matters, but the kind of content really, really matters. And we've seen all of a sudden these sites coming through in top ranking that in some instances have hardly any anchor text links coming into their pages.
That's right.
But their
content is very qualitative.
The content's fantastic. And so what I love about this update is that it moves us and anyone with a website into an area of being a contributor, a real contributor, and in no way trying to game the system. And so I applaud this update. I think it's going to make a lot of SEOs' lives hell, but the trick around it is to be able to somehow come to the table with a solution that says, you know what, I'm not going to try to sell you my services anymore. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to educate you about our profession. And so the part of it that I want you to be aware of notice is that you're going to hear a lot of conversation about content is king, content is king, content is king. If there's no meat on the bone, if they don't go any further than just saying content is king, that's not the solution, right? It's not just purely about content. It's the kind of content that you're going to be contributing to the internet now.
That's right. Another thing too that's kind of important is the interlinking of pages. I've been looking at some of the sites that are top ranking, and a lot of sites are following what looks like a Wikipedia style linking between internal linking, deep links, So that's something that we are going to be doing for all of our clients. We're going to be looking at all of the on-page and how we internally link, making sure that it's set up properly where we're using certain keywords but not over-optimizing the keywords on the page. So that's something that we're going to be looking at. Another thing too, which is important, is Google has now recognized that most people were spamming title tags.
Yeah.
Descriptions,
yeah.
where they're stuffing in the keyword, like, they put the keyword at the top, and again, we have done that. I'm not going to say that
it's been best practice.
Yeah, that has always been best practice. One of the case studies today that we looked at, if you do a search right now for clothing catalog on Google, which is a very competitive keyword,
yeah.
right? The two sites that rank number 1 and number 2 say homepage as their title tag, and it's indexed that way. And it's just like, if I take every SEO book that I've ever read in my life and I just throw them out the window and I just say, what is that? So I mean, it just has you, it's obviously Google has not gotten it right perfectly yet.
Yeah.
And you won't see those sitting there, I can guarantee that, because that is worst practice SEO.
Yeah.
But during this index, when they're making tweets, they don't get everything perfect.
Yeah, and another telling thing is that we're seeing the reemergence of directories, right, that have started to come through. And again, it's been the first week. So will directories continue to stay at the top? No, but you have to always read between the lines. If they're ranking a directory for no matter what industry you're in, it says that the people in charge of the algorithm over there are starting to get back to, all right, what has the most amount of content that's quality content? And that's, in the absence of quality content that is better than a directory, there's probably going to be ranking directories. So again, the job of an SEO company is to understand that and to do something about it. You need to be the educator of your market. You need to be the people out in front of this by truly contributing really cool content. But it also comes down to the structure. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to develop templates, and we're going to be sending them through to you. So we're going to partner with you in terms of content creation.
Yep.
But we also have a whole team of writers that's going to be writing content for you and just illustrating what we're talking about in terms of delivering pages that Google's going to like.
Google friendly, Googleicious, as somebody likes to say. And then the last thing is the importance of continuing to build high quality links. We are going to continue to diversify the way that we build links, but more importantly is the selection of the keywords that we're using to build into the links. Yeah. We do a lot of media and blog outreach on your behalf. There's a lot of stuff that are happening behind the scenes that you just don't see on a daily basis. If I were to spin the camera here and show you our entire team over here working, they're hard at work for all of our clients, and they're doing this. They're reaching out to blog owners, they're writing content, they're sharing stories, they're getting links. I mean, that's just what they do all day long, so that we can check the box that we're delivering high quality links to you, the end user. So you can be assured that that's what we're doing, working on your behalf. We're also building all different kinds of diversified links too. There's all these other different strategies that we're doing. We're testing things. We're reverse engineering your competitors. We're seeing what they're doing. I mean, there's just so much stuff that is happening behind the scenes, but we just want to let you know that we are on top of this Penguin update. We're going to continue to study it. Next week, I've got just me and my team sitting in a room all week long, just studying it, looking at sites. So we will probably send you another update about what we found. So again, we're very happy to have everyone as clients. We appreciate that you guys trust your businesses with us, and just know that we respect that, and we're working very hard for you.
Yep, you're in good hands. And if you have seen any slipping of your rankings, we're on it, and we have itemized every single keyword that we work on, every single client, every single account. We have a lot of them now. We have about 50 or 60 clients now. And we have a whole division that does research, and they've been looking at every single thing that slipped, and we're trying to attach which parts of this is with Penguin and which parts aren't.
That's right. You just hit something that I just failed to mention. There's also an over-optimization part of Penguin, where basically if you do certain Google string queries within Google, which I can't share with you because I'd have to write it out, you can see how many pages. So if you're trying to rank for one keyword, yet you have that keyword in 7 other pages in your title tag, yeah, that is classified as over-optimization now after this Panda update. So that's something else that we're going to be doing the Penguin update. That's something else that we're going to be doing complete scans of your website, looking for these things and actually fixing them so that we can check that box again. So
I guess,
yeah.
and on a final note, just if we can ask for a little bit of patience with this. You know, this is a long slog, and you know, you work with an SEO company not to jump up and down when things go wrong. You work with an SEO company to be able to solve.
To be your eyes and ears when stuff like this happens.
When stuff like this happens, yes.
No, but there's no SEO company in the world that is prepared for an algorithmic update. It's just Google never warned you.
Right.
However, we will say that we are alerted in real time whenever Matt Cutts, the head of web spam, you know, gives us some kind of nugget to look at. So that's stuff that we do look at real time. And the last thing is that this is our passion. I mean, at night, at midnight, I'm reverse engineering sites. I'm looking at forums. I'm trying to figure things out that none of your competitors are doing. And that's just because it's our passion. That's what we do. Yeah. So.
That's about it. Thank you for hearing us out, and we'll maybe do another video like this in the next week or two.
We should do these more often.
Yeah,
just giving them updates of
We've been
stuff.
busy.
So, yep. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you.